I, at this point in my life, feel like genderqueer is a really, really great term for me and how I feel about myself, mostly because I feel that I'm still changing as an individual and I don't want to particularly stick myself to one hyper feminine or hyper masculine label because I kind of go through both. Genderqueer, gender fluid, I like both of those a lot because some days I wake up and I feel really, really masculine, and other days I kind of want to wear a skirt. So I don't want to, and I don't necessarily feel that clothing, completely dictates femininity or masculinity either. I think you can be super masculine and wear a skirt, but for me, representation through what I wear, how I do my hair, how I do my makeup is says a lot about, how I'm feeling that day. And I like the term trans too, because it implies a transition and a change. And I feel like that for me is also very accurate because I'm constantly changing. I'm constantly transitioning between the way I feel about gender one day and the way I feel about it the next day. And some of that I know has got to be me being in my 20s, exploring myself, figuring out my body, trying to figure out what I want from life. I came out in January of last year. So it's not been very long. I had come out to my family and my friends, obviously, much more before that, but I wasn't super comfortable vocalizing my identity on my social media platforms because I was worried it would interfere with my work. And one day I kind of just woke up, and I think it was a part of that whole, New Year mentality where you're like, I'm going to do what I want, I'm going to make this year mine. And I decided that I didn't care about how it affected my ability to get work, and I didn't care about that because it was more important to represent myself in a way that I truly identified with and being the person that I wanted to be and not trying to come up with this identity or this character of my online person, and instead actually being true to myself and being true to the people that I'm creating the art for, obviously myself and everybody else. It's kind of weird as a student because I go to school in a southern red state and not a lot of people are very open-minded or accepting of transgender people, at least where I go to school. So I hear a lot of comments and things that I kind of find offensive from the people I go to school with, but I can't really say anything about it because I don't want to, kind of isolate myself from everybody and then have to be stuck in a room with them for a year, 2 years, and not really be able to succeed with my education because I've kind of cut myself off from everyone. So it's a bit weird because there are times that I feel like I need to stand up for people and speak out. And of course, with some of the students I do, but I can't necessarily stand up in front of my class with the instructor and be like, don't say that. I have definitely made friends with some people that I go to school with and told them, how I feel. And it's really cool because a lot of them have turned around and said, oh, I didn't realize that was offensive, or that was something that I shouldn't have said, or that hurt your feelings in any way. And they've been really great about it. And I think if I slowly get to everybody, I'll eventually change their mindset one at a time. It's nice to know that when you get them privately away from that group mentality, they're a lot more accepting and caring of you as a person. My style has grown like so much. When I first started, it's actually kind of funny. It kind of goes in a loop. If you look at my first coming out into modeling work, I had all these piercings and I was really crazy about getting a lot of tattoos, and I had like super short hair, and I was definitely a little bit more no, I wasn't as femme, and I was a little bit more into the whole like fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want, punk rock, like. And then I had spoken to, I think my problem was I spoke to a lot of other models and they told me, you need to calm down your style, stop dyeing your hair blue, take out your piercings, you'll get more work. And so I listened to them because I wanted to pay my bills. And I did that, and it worked really, really well. Presenting myself very femme, having a natural hair color, not having all the piercings. I got a ton more work. I was getting paid really well. I was getting tons of gigs, and it was awesome. But I didn't feel like I was ever really being myself. I felt like I was playing a character. And that was hard for me because I had to keep up this persona that I didn't actually really identify with in any way. It was like I was selling a product. And like I said one day, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do myself. I'm going to be me. And if somebody doesn't like it, they can suck it. Most of the time when I go out places, everybody thinks I am male. So whenever I go into a restaurant, wherever I'm going, I always get served. And I actually really like it, and I find it very flattering because I think I would be a very cute boy, more so even than a woman. And so when people serve me and I will, place my order or whatever I'm doing, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am." And it's weird to me because I kind of want to be like, no, don't apologize. Keep going with the sir thing. But I don't know how to say that in a way that will not make people feel weird. I definitely had more privilege when I looked very femme. People would do things to me, give me things for free all the time, let me into bars for free. I kind of could do whatever I want because I was a woman, and I don't get that anymore. So it's weird. It's really weird. I feel like I'm seeing all sorts of sides of spectrums that I didn't even know existed. I have, for the most part, found most of my community and support via online sources. So whether it's a Facebook group for genderqueer, trans, non-binary, whatever it is, or funny enough, there are a lot of trans men that I follow online because I feel like they post all this stuff that's so supportive and positive and like, go be you, go, do your day. And it's so great for me to see that because it's these people living their authentic lives. And I can't imagine anything better for anyone than to be who they want to be and to be happy in that and to share that happiness with other people. I have some close friends that are totally supportive of me and I can talk to them about it, but at the same time, they are not within that group. They're not trans, they're not non-binary, they're not genderqueer, gender fluid, anything like that. So while I can talk to them about it and they'll listen to me and they'll love me no matter what, they can't really relate to me. So they don't really know how to respond other than to say, like, "Oh, I'm sure that's difficult for you and I'm here for you," which is it's definitely hard, which I think is why I go out of my way to find people online who can actually relate to the experience I'm going through. I think if you can find someone that you are comfortable with talking to about what you're going through, because one of the hardest things for me was feeling very confused and uncomfortable and keeping it all bottled up inside. Because I wanted more than anything to tell somebody how I felt, but I was worried that people would think I was weird or wouldn't be able to relate to me. And when I finally was able to talk to my friends, like about gender, sexuality is one thing. My friends don't care if you're gay, straight, whatever, they don't care. But gender is different because I don't know what it is about it, but gender is just different because it's confusing. It's fluid and it changes. And it was so monumentally helpful for me to be able to tell people, like, I'm really struggling today and I just want to know that somebody's there and supporting me and loves me, even if I don't necessarily, love myself today. Because there are times you just don't. You wake up and you're like, I suck. And it's just a day and you'll get through it. You'll get over it and you'll feel better the next day, Just take a hot bath and chill out.